Welcome back. Today I am doing something that I have never done before. I want to share my all-time favorite children's book with you because it's my birthday week and I turned 39 on this Friday, November the 19th. And I got a wild hair and decided I want to read to you LeVar Burton style with a nod to Reading Rainbow and share one of the books that absolutely, without a doubt, shaped who I am. If you want to see the beautiful illustrations in this book, and I'll tell you what it is in just a bit, go buy it. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. But also, you can check out the YouTube version of today's show that will be in the show notes on the webpage. So before we get started, I want to have a great big thank you to this week's sponsor, Fike & Co. Fike & Co. is a progressive boutique consulting firm that works with entrepreneurs, startups, small to medium-sized companies, and larger organizations to cultivate a place where people love coming to work. With a focus foremost on diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equality, Fike & Co. pushes business leaders to push the boundaries of what a great workplace environment means and is for all of their employees. If you are starting from scratch with a small team, or if you are looking to grow your current team, Fike & Co. can help you to scale your business in a way that both adds to the bottom line while also boosting engagement. From talent acquisition, onboarding, and compensation to HR compliance, performance management, and employee relations, Fike & Co. has worked with more than 50 companies across the country and worldwide in various stages of growth. If you are looking for strategic guidance on people programs or interim people leadership, contact Fike & Co. Your people will thank you. So now I will let you know I'm going to be reading you a book. Again, my all-time favorite children's book. Okay, so this book shaped me. And I think about it all the time. And my mom used to read it to me. My mom was phenomenal at reading us books when we were little kids. And we would go to the library, and sometimes we'd take a wagon or a book pack, a book bag, a book pack, whatever you want to call it. And we could get out as many books as we wanted to. And here's the thing, getting a library card when I was little, it was better than getting a driver's license. It was like, oh my God, I'm a little kid and I get to pick out any books in this whole entire place and I get to take them home with me. So it was just the most exciting thing that I could have possibly done as a little kid. And this book, Miss Rumphius, Story and Pictures by Barbara Cooney, is absolutely one of the most special books I could have ever read. It definitely seeped its way into my conscious and unconscious and shaped what I thought women could do. So without further ado, I'm going to be reading this to us. Again, you can check it out on the YouTube channel if you want to see the beautiful illustrations that are present in this book. But also, I just want you to know, support this author. Go buy her book. Gift this book. You know, it's the holidays. There are kids that need this book in their life. Okay, so we will begin with Miss Rumpus. Miss Rumphius. When we were little, we called it Miss Rumpus, but it's really Miss Rumphius. Stories and Pictures by Barbara Cooney, the Viking Press, New York. And the inscription, who it's to, it's just this beautiful little inscription. It says, "To Saint Nicholas, patron saint of children, sailors, and maidens." So for those on YouTube, I'm going to show the beautiful illustrations before I start reading, so you can check that out. The Lupine lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The lupine lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great Aunt Alice, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing boat. I'm just sharing the next page. It's beautiful. You see Alice painting, and you see her grandfather carving wood, and you see the bow of a ship. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures too of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. And on the next page, you see her sitting on her grandfather's lap in a beautiful warm living room with a cat in front of the fire. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live by the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework. And pretty soon she was grown up. And then on the next page, you see a picture of grown-up Alice in a library. Then my great Aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city, far from the sea and salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. On the next page, you see her walking in to a beautiful greenhouse on a cold winter day. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle, Miss Rumphius," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." Then you see her accepting a coconut on an island shore. So Miss Rumphius went to a tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. One day she met the Bapa Raja, king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Bapa Raja's wife. The Bapa Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Baba Raja gave her a beautiful mother of pearl shell on which he hand painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "You will always remain in mine too," said Miss Rumphius. Now on the next page, you see her up on a camel in another faraway land. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she heard her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. So on the next page, you see a beautiful cabin on the edge of land overlooking the sea with a sailboat with dark, beautiful Payne's gray blue water. From the front porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what? The world is already pretty nice," she thought, looking out over the ocean. And then on the next page, you see her a little bit sick in her room, nursing her back, but looking out her bedroom window onto the sea. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupines, Miss Rumphius," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so I could have still more flowers next year." But she was not able to. On the next page, you see her kneeling down in her green cloak next to some water in a field. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. "It was the wind," she said as she kneeled in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. And on the next page, you see her walking the countryside in her beautiful green coat, and she's spreading something. She hurried home and got out her seed catalog. She sent off to the very best house for 5 bushels of lupine seed. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, sowing lupines. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her anymore at all. Now, some people called her that crazy old lady. On the next page, you can now see the town, and it is starting to blossom with lupines everywhere. The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. Now on the next page, you see a living room full of children sitting in front of an old woman with white hair, and out the window you can see the ocean. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year, there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupines. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often, she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, says my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say, but I do not know yet what that can be. And on the very last page of this beautiful book, you see beautiful rolling hills of Maine near the water and children picking lupines. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So as you can see, I traveled the world, and maybe someday I'll live by the sea. But the most important part of this book is, what contribution do we make to make the world more beautiful? And yes, in this book, the contribution that Miss Rumphius made was to physically spread beauty through flowers. But we can make the world a more beautiful place by creating programs that connect people, by volunteering our time, by giving of our resources, by making art. There are so many different ways that we can do something to make the world more beautiful. And going into this birthday week, and I don't think it's just one thing that we do to make the world more beautiful. I think there are many things that we can do to make the world more beautiful. So for me, going into this birthday week, that's top of mind. What in this next year of life that I have been gifted do I want to do to help make this world a better, more beautiful place? So thank you so much for being here. And please let us know in the comments section or anywhere you listened what you're going to do to make the world a more beautiful place.